Welcome to How to Attract and Retain Top AP Talent, brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And before we get started, and I introduce our speakers, let me just cover some brief housekeeping. First, use the GoToWebinar control panel to ask our experts questions. Next, we'll have 4 polling questions. So again, use your GoToWebinar control panel to vote and benchmark your peers. Finally, you'll receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. So with that, please allow me to introduce our sponsor and partner, AvidXchange, a leader in automating invoice, payment, and AP processes. A fintech unicorn, AvidXchange processes more than $215 billion in transactions annually, with 1,600 employees, 6,000 customers, and 225 system integrations. So with that, I'm pleased to introduce our subject matter experts, Rhonda Green and Tyler Stubbs. Rhonda Green is a Certified Accounts Payable Solutions Consultant, or APSC, and Principal Consultant for AvidXchange. She brings more than 25 years of experience to help companies streamline AP. Tyler Stubbs is a Solutions Consultant for AvidXchange, and Tyler joined AvidXchange in 2017. Welcome, Rhonda and Tyler.
Thanks, Neil. We're happy to be here. So today we're going to cover the current state of accounts payable, the 9 numbers that define the modern AP professional, how to attract and retain top AP talent, and then I'll kick it over to my colleague Tyler to talk about AP automation with AvidXchange, and then if we have time, we'll have Q&A at the end. So recently we did an AP professional career satisfaction survey, and it actually was the second survey, and it was conducted by the IOFM. The data was actually collected last month, and there were 461 respondents. AP professionals are returning to the office and they're working long hours. So what we found out was that 42% of respondents said they work in a hybrid environment, followed by 39% in the office, and 19% were still fully remote. 31% of respondents said that they work 45 plus hours every week. And the level of automation, only 4% of the respondents described their department as being fully automated, but 93% said they're at least partially automated. So we'll have our first poll question now.
All right, audience, please take a few seconds to answer this poll to benchmark your peers. How would you describe your accounts payable department's current level of automation? So please take a few seconds to answer that. And let's go ahead and take a look.
Well, Neil, I think this kind of tracks with what the survey found. 72% said that they're partially automated, but still have lots of manual tasks, with only 11% saying largely automated. But I am very pleased to see that 72% are at least partially automated, so they're definitely on the right track. So thank you for that.
Okay, we'll keep going here.
So the current state of AP professionals really value workplace culture, as I think a lot of us do. Flexible work hours ranked as more important than a hybrid or remote working arrangement in the survey. So they said that, you know, the most important items when considering a job opportunity was, of course, number 1 being salary and benefits, and number 2 being culture, as I mentioned. Also, flexible work hours and learning or skills development opportunities, and mission or purpose of organization. More and more AP professionals are wanting to learn more, and they're wanting to work on more strategic tasks. And that's what we hear time and time again. So this pretty much is in line with what I hear when I'm out talking to folks. So 9 numbers that define the modern AP professional. Number 1 is economic confidence. So AP professionals feel a large sense of job security. 78% of AP pros are not worried about layoffs impacting their department in 2023. That pretty much checks. I mean, again, especially if they're working in a manual environment, more and more of those positions are getting, harder to fill as people are wanting to do, less, manual, tedious tasks, and they're looking to do more strategic tasks. So this actually checks with what we're hearing. Economic confidence. So AP professionals feel a large sense of job security. So even despite the economic uncertainty, including layoffs and a predicted recession, unemployment rate in the labor market remains strong, and AP pros appear to be optimistic. So 78%, as I mentioned earlier, said they're not worried about layoffs. Only 14% said their department actually experienced layoffs last year. And 43% said that they're doing nothing to prepare for layoffs. 36% are learning new skills, and 32% are actually out there updating their resume. So again, a good 43% are just kind of staying status quo. But again, I'm sure that they're looking to hone those skills. Number 2, career satisfaction. So AP professionals are increasingly satisfied with their jobs. 51% of AP pros are either very or extremely satisfied in their current role. That's great to hear. Number 2, career satisfaction. So top line results, 51% of AP pros are very or extremely satisfied with their current role. 35% are moderately satisfied. 11% are slightly satisfied, with 3% being not at all satisfied. And when we talk about the impact of automation, 1% of those with largely or fully automated systems are not at all satisfied, compared to 10% of those that still are working in a manual system. Fully, largely automated pros are almost twice as likely to be very or extremely satisfied compared to manual pros. And this definitely, again, goes with what we're hearing, where folks are expecting now some level of automation. They don't want to be, opening envelopes or doing a lot of manual data entry. So again, I think the more automated you are, the better chances of attracting top talent. Number 3, organization connectedness. A lack of tools correlates with decreased connection with the business. So 1 in 5 AP pros with no automation feel extremely connected to the mission or purpose of their organization. So only 1 in 5. And those top line results are 39% of all respondents feel extremely connected, 51% moderately connected, and 10% feel not at all connected. And again, if we talk about the impact of automation and what it means in this survey, is again, 1 in 5 AP pros with no automation feel extremely connected. And that's in comparison to 2 in 3 of those who are fully automated. It really does check. Number 4, health and well-being. AP professionals appear unable to step away from their job. 22% of AP pros used their full PTO balance last year. Only 22%. Wow, that's crazy. But again, in a manual environment, you're kind of tied to the office, where if you have more automation, they feel much better about taking that much deserved PTO. So top line results for this one, only 22%, as I mentioned, used their full PTO last year. 24% took between 75 and 99% of their balance, and 35% took less than half of their PTO. Wow. And again, when we look about the impact of automation, 83% of those with fully automated systems either agree or strongly agree that they have a healthy work-life balance, compared to 45% of those with manual systems. Again, with automation, folks are able to work remote. COVID taught us that a lot of A teams really didn't have that ability, 3 years ago, that they worked 100% in the office, or they were tied to that check printer. They had to go in and cut checks. So we're definitely seeing now with automation that it's making an impact. But wow, I'd really like to see more of these folks using their PTO. Our next poll question.
All right, again, use your GoToWebinar control panel. What percentage of your PTO did you use in 2022? Select one of the following. Take a few seconds, please. And let's take a look.
Well, 36% used all of it, so that's good. But 43% said that they only used half, but 14 said they didn't use any. Wow, that's crazy. We need to work on that. So number 5, strategic work. AP professionals with automation tools are more likely to be strategic contributors. 11 times, or 11x AP pros with fully automated systems are 11 times more likely to work on strategic initiatives daily. It gives them the opportunity to be able to work on different things. When they're not busy working on manual tasks, then they're able to do things like, account reconciliation, or maybe even a master vendor file cleanup. So again, that really makes sense to me. So if we look at top line results here, only 33% of all respondents say that there are advancement opportunities for them at their current organization. 60% either never work on strategic initiatives or only work on them a few times a year. So if we look at that impact of automation, AP pros with fully automated systems are 11 times more likely to work on these initiatives. And so that's 33% versus 3%. So if you're in a highly manual AP world where everything is paper, you're still maybe handwriting coding, or even getting manual signatures as the invoice approval, that definitely shows us that only 20% of those folks are able to actually do other things and maybe learn other skills. So really, to be able to retain top talent, companies must offer these opportunities for growth. Because 84% of respondents said learning or skills development opportunity was either moderately or extremely important when considering a job opportunity. It all goes back to being able to really attract that top talent. Number 6, reporting and analytics. So AP pros are being asked to produce more detailed reports. 76% of AP pros with fully automated systems have access to the tools that they need to be able to build those effective reports. Management wants to know, how are we doing? Are our invoices getting captured quickly? Are they being paid on time? Are we capturing all of our cash discounts? So reporting has become more and more important for AP pros over the years. And if we look here, data and analytics are definitely growing in importance across all of finance. And AP pros and AP managers are using it more and more to make those strategic decisions and be able to impact business growth. So as we see here, 59% are now tasked with producing more detailed reporting or analytic. Only 44% say that they actually have the tools to be able to do so. But when we look again at the impact that automation can have on this, 76% of AP pros with fully automated systems agree or strongly agree that they have access to the tools and tech that they need to be able to build these reports. And that's actually compared to only 17% of those with manual systems. So again, automation makes a huge difference. Number 7, perception of leadership. So AP professionals largely believe in their business and leadership. 7 in 10 are confident in the stability and future of their organization. So that's good. 71% of AP pros are confident. 69% believe their direct supervisor actually values their contributions. 58% believe their executive leadership values their development. And when we look again at the impact of automation, 29% of those with manual systems believe their direct supervisor does not value their contributions or development, versus 0% of those with full automation and 10% of those who are largely automated. And so again, that kind of checks with, we're not necessarily feeling valued. You're not, investing in my growth. No new tools and technology. And people talk, when they go to conferences or other get-togethers, they're talking to their peers who may already have automation. And so they're not understanding why their company hasn't looked at it yet. And when Tyler gets to the demonstration, you'll be able to see exactly what it can do for you. So number 8, perception of automation technology. 3 in 4 AP pros believe automation technology will have a positive impact on their career long term. So they're not looking at AP automation as a means for companies to come in and begin a round of layoffs. 78% said that they welcome modern technology because it allows my team to work more efficiently. Only 3% said it makes them anxious because it handles portions of my job and lessens my contributions. And the impact of automation tech on career, 71% believe that automation technology would have an immediate positive impact on their current role. And 75% believe it would have a positive long-term impact on their career. I spent many, many years in AP management, and I can definitely say that in the companies that I implemented AP automation, we did not lay off anyone, but it actually allowed us to, again, train some of our AP staff on other things. But also importantly, we were able to continue to grow our business without adding additional headcount. So while we weren't, impacting anyone's jobs, we were able, as people left of their own accord, we were able to not replace them because we did have the technology in place that did a lot of the manual work. So definitely something to consider. And number 9, AP professionals are looking to save time and reduce errors, so they're looking at AP automation. 94% of AP pros would use a tool to automate the most repetitive parts of their jobs. Absolutely, I agree with that. And they're looking to save time and to reduce errors. So knowledge of AP automation, 31% of respondents know what AP automation is, and 40% actually know a lot about it. Less than 1% have actually never heard of it. And some of the top reasons to use automation tech, 85% said it was to save time. Again, we go back and we talk about folks that aren't taking their PTO. They don't feel like they can take it because they're so busy. 79% said it helps to reduce errors, and it 100% does. And 65% said they're able to focus on more fulfilling work. So would you use a tool to automate the most repetitive parts of your job? That was a question that the IOFM asked the survey respondents, and 94% said yes. That's incredible. So they know about automation, they know it will help them, and they're not concerned like they used to be about losing their job. They realize that this gives them the opportunity to really excel and show their skills in other ways. So how do we attract and retain that top AP talent? Skilled labor shortages and a surge in employee retirement have created challenges for many businesses, and driving employee engagement improves retention, productivity, and profitability. And attract and retaining talent in a competitive labor market is very important. Number one is get to know your team as individuals. And I led teams for many years, and I feel very strongly about this. But in this survey, 10% said that they don't feel at all connected to the mission or purpose of their organization. You've got to get your folks involved and really let them know how important their role is. Number two, give your team the tools they need to succeed. 85% agree or strongly agree that access to tools and technology helps with professional development. And number three, create opportunities for growth. 84% said that learning or skills development opportunities are important when considering a job opportunity. Absolutely, completely agree. And Kat Carmichael, CEO of Strategy 123, said, not many people talk about communication skills, and yet they're among the most vital things any leader can have. And part of it is not only creating the right vision that everyone will charge up the hill behind you, but also letting them know what's in it for them. That's the key. Interesting. Another poll.
Okay, so again, use your control panel. Outside of salary and benefits, what is the most important item to you when considering job opportunity? Please take a moment to share and benchmark your peers. Attendees, please vote if you can. All right, so let's have a look.
Advancement opportunities, I love that, absolutely, and that's how it should be. People want to learn and they want to grow in their careers. And then we're tied 13% with access to tools or technology, remote or hybrid working, and workplace culture. And then 6% said mission or purpose of organization. Thanks, Neil. So now we're going to talk about AvidXchange, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Tyler Stubbs. Tyler?
Thank you, Rhonda. So who is AvidXchange? AvidXchange is an AP automation company. We launched in 2000. Today we have over 1,600 employees spread out across 5 offices in the US. And we serve about 9,000 customers today. Next slide. In that 23 years, we've built up our Avid Pay network, which we pride ourselves on. Last year, we had over $215 billion in spend under management. And in the past 5 years, we've paid close to 1 million vendors through our network. So what makes us different from other AP automation companies in the middle market space? First, like I touched on just a few seconds ago, is going to be our AvidPay network. Through that network, we make sure that those payments are highly secured, as well as your invoice data is highly secured within our Avid Suite portal. And then we also offer flexible payment options to our client suppliers, whether it's going to be our two e-payment options, virtual card or AvidPay Direct, or we can still process checks for our clients. And the last thing that's going to make us different from our competitors is going to be the wide net of accounting systems that we can integrate with. Today, we're able to integrate with over 225 accounting systems to make sure that we're automating those processes for them. So what does AP automation with AvidXchange look like? Next slide. This graphic shows what a typical AP process would look like. You would have receive the invoice, open the mail, match the PO, all of these other mundane tasks. And what AvidXchange is able to do is we're able to condense this process, as you'll see on the next slide, to make sure that all your team is doing is coding those invoices, logging those approvals for those invoices, and then posting those invoices to your GL. Next slide. So we offer two automation solutions. First is going to be our invoice product, Avid Invoice, and we also offer our Avid Pay service. We'll start with talking about Avid Invoice. With Avid Invoice, we're able to import our clients' invoices either by email, PO box, which those PO boxes are managed by AvidXchange. So that way your team isn't opening any mail for you. We'll take care of opening that, scanning those into the system and routing those invoices to your appropriate teammates. And then you'll also have the ability to upload invoices yourself. Once we've received that invoice through our Avid Invoice product, we're able to capture that header detail associated to that invoice and then submit them to your team to analyze those invoices, assign coding, leave any comments to your team as you see fit, and other functions. With Avid Pay, we're able to generate those payments out of your accounting system. And once that payment data has moved to the Avid Pay system, we have available what we call Avid Pay Pay Control that allows you to digitally log any check signatures that you need before those payments go out to your suppliers. From there, money is pulled from your existing bank account, and then we take care of payment to your vendors, either via our partnership with MasterCard, which we use to generate those virtual card payments, AvidPay Direct, which is going to be a direct deposit option for our clients' vendors, or we can send a paper check to your clients. So that way, all you're doing for reconciliation of those payments is checking those original debits that were pulled from your account to fund those payments. So after automating with AvidXchange, you would have streamlined processes and approvals, all digitally logged, and we'll keep a full history of that. You'll have a centralized location for all of your invoices. We'll be able to act as sort of a file cabinet for all of your invoice data and payments. You'll have increased visibility into your invoice and payment data. We do offer very robust reporting from the Avid Suite. And then you'll also have increased fraud protection. We do utilize positive pay for all payments that we send out, and we also handle the achievement process for those payments. And now we'll open it up for a poll question.
All right, our last poll, how would you like to hear from AvidXchange? Select one of the following, please. Take a few seconds, attendees, including an offer for a $50 MasterCard gift card. Take a few more seconds here to allow you to answer. And thank you for that. And we will move forward with Q&A.
Great. Thank you so much, Neil. And what a great presentation, Rhonda and Tyler. I appreciate that. So we have a few questions from the audience. The first question is from Sarah. How do you handle supplier onboarding? Is this something I would need to do? How does that work?
We make sure as a part of our setting up your AvidXchange system to execute the step of reaching out to your vendors, letting them know of the newly formed relationship with AvidXchange and taking over that payment process and receiving your invoices. So AvidXchange would fully handle all of that process as soon as you get us that vendor information.
Great. Thanks, Tyler. This next one is from Andrew. I have a lot of folks in my organization that need to approve the process. What if I need multiple people in the approval process?
Our approval engine is very robust. You can add as many people as you need to. You can also account for approvals by whatever GL code is used, as well as the dollar amount of each invoice. You can set up those dependencies within your approval workflows.
Great, thank you, Tyler. All right, next question here. How long does implementation usually take?
That's typically going to depend on the accounting system, but typically the timeline is going to be 6 to 8 weeks. It's also going to depend on which modules you choose to go with. Like for instance, just using the AvidPay module would take you 3 to 4 weeks to set up.
Awesome, and I see a few folks have asked, this has been a great presentation. Will the PDF of this presentation be shared? And yes, it will be. So you guys will be able to take this home with you and send to other colleagues as well if you find it informative. All right, another question we got is, how do you handle, how long does implementation usually take? Oops, we answered that one already, I'm sorry. The next one is, this is more of like a subjective one, but how do you define like a flexible work week? I know one of the poll questions that was an option as far as priority. What makes that a flexible week? You know, something that comes to mind for me is with automation, you'd be able to focus on more strategic and value-added initiatives. So your week would be more flexible for you to focus on those as far as being focused on kind of those manual, repetitive processes that can be redundant.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it gives them the opportunity to maybe work, you know, a few days in the office and the other days at home, because they have access to, with automation, to all of their information, and they're able to do everything from home that they can do in the office. And one of the really neat things, especially that we've added this year, is Avid Analytics. And, you know, we were talking about the reporting tools and being able to, you know, show how the AP department is doing and how invoices are getting paid in a timely fashion, et cetera. And that really gives them the opportunity to be able to work with those reports, to be able to send those out to management. So it just gives them more flexibility to do things, and also that opportunity to be able to work remote, where historically AP teams, you know, didn't really have that option before.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rhonda. Another question is how much does it cost to implement?
So we do have an implementation fee. It varies. So you would really need to, work with a sales representative for that. But all of our pricing for our products is transaction based. So it just depends on the volume that you're sending through the network.
Perfect. And we got another question here from Barbara. She said, I see the value of automation, but it's hard to convince my boss. What do you recommend?
Well, I think, webinars like this is a good place to start. You're going to get the deck, so you'll be able to see that IOFM survey results. And I think a lot of that is kind of eye-opening about the importance of automation, but also, again, being able to reach out. You can reach out to us and set up a demonstration, and we can actually help you with an ROI. So you can use that to work with management to say, hey, here is what we can, the return on our investment in technology. This is the time and the money that we're saving by automating our AP department.
Perfect. And I have a question here. One last question is, do you integrate with QuickBooks?
We do. Absolutely. We do. And the various versions, desktop, enterprise, online. Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, we integrate with over 225 accounting systems. So if you're on one, we probably integrate with it. And that is the last of our Q&A. Neil, I'll pass the microphone back to you.
All right, thank you. And thank you to Rhonda and Tyler for these great insights today. Many thanks to AvidXchange, a leader in automating invoice payment and AP processes. And last but certainly not least, thanks to all of our attendees. Great success to you in 2023. Goodbye.